Hi, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us for Celtics Pregame Live. I'm Amanda Pflugrad, and we have Mark D'Amico joining us as well. And Mark, the Celtics continuing on with their West Coast swing. They'll look to get back in the win column tonight against the Clippers. We have some good news and also some not so good news on the injury front. Jaylen Brown is out tonight with left knee soreness. As we heard Brad Stevens say pregame, Brown has just been having some general soreness over the course of a couple of weeks, and he's more day-to-day. How much of a surprise was this, though, considering he didn't show any signs of the knee soreness against the Kings and has been able to play?
Well, how can you not be surprised, man? I mean, you think about how many minutes that this guy has logged this season. He's over 660 minutes so far this season. There's no other player on the Celtics roster who has logged more than 550. So he's well ahead of everyone else on the team. He's the only starter that has played every single game and played heavy minutes in every single game, aside from the ones when the Celtics blew the other team out and he didn't have to, like when he scored 30 plus in only 19 minutes. But we digress there. But yeah, I mean, it's going to happen when you have a short off season, you have a short ramp up to the season. These things are going to happen for every team, for their top players throughout the season. So this is just a maintenance thing in my eyes. Let's hope it doesn't carry on throughout the season. But Jaylen Brown gets a little rest tonight. Who knows what his status will be for Sunday. But Brad Stevens did say he was day-to-day, so let's hope he's back soon.
Mm-hmm. Well, on a brighter note, Peyton Pritchard is available, and Brad Stevens had hinted that a return was near, and it's finally happening. What are you looking to see out of Peyton Pritchard specifically, Mark?
More of the same. Before he went out, every single night he stepped onto the court, it was poise, it was pace, it was shooting, it was looking like a veteran out there, despite the fact that he's a rookie. He's been getting it done at both ends of the court, defending at a pretty strong level, really getting in the opponent's airspace, and then offensively, as I just said, poise, pace, and shooting. So I just want to see more of that. He doesn't need to step up and try to be Marcus Smart. He doesn't need to step up and try to be Jaylen Brown. Just be exactly what he was before he went out. That's what the Celtics need. That's hopefully what the Celtics get tonight with him back in the lineup.
Just be fast PP or P Rabbit, right?
He likes P Rabbit. He likes P Rabbit. He told me that's official. He doesn't like the other names, especially fast PP. So let's stick with P Rabbit if we're going to just give him the option to choose his nickname.
Well, following the Celtics loss to the Kings, Brad Stevens, he said that overall he was pleased with his team's effort. What did you see from their overall effort last matchup?
I got some flack on Twitter because I said after that last game that I think despite the win-loss record, the Celtics are heading in the right direction. And I'm not saying that because I work for the team. I'm not saying that because I want the team to do well. I'm saying that because I actually see it. I see the Celtics becoming more consistent at both ends of the court, and it's not going to translate into wins necessarily every single time, especially when they're battling uphill without multiple key players in their roster. And we're talking about one night they were missing Pritchard, Marcus Smart, and Kemba Walker. Tonight they're missing Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown. It's kind of just a whirlwind that they're going through right now, trying to figure things out with the injuries that they're going through. But I can see it. They look like they're playing better basketball at both ends of the court, and I expect that to continue. They're heading in the right direction. Obviously, we got to remember, very abbreviated preseason. I expected them to kind of take a while to get it rolling, and I think that they're heading in that right direction, and hopefully that leads to a win tonight.
Right, and you have to think too, Mark, they've had very limited time together as a fully healthy team where all the guys are available.
Almost no time together. I mean, if we're being serious, what have they played? One game where they've been actually not fully healthy, but just their top 8 or so players. Only, I think, one game this season. So, we just got to hang tight, wait for them to get healthy. Hopefully, knock on wood, that actually does happen at some point this season. But in the meantime, we just want to see them playing good basketball. And if their talent isn't enough based upon who's missing games, then that's that. You can't argue against it as long as they're playing well and they're playing hard.
Well, I spoke to Daniel Tice pregame, and he said when you're going up against a team like the Clippers, the Celtics, they don't have room to make mistakes, and they have to get back to playing Celtics defense. Mark, when they are playing at that level and are engaged for a full 48, how difficult is this Celtics team to stop?
Well, and when they're healthy, let's throw that in there as well, right? So when they're playing a full 48 defensively and they're healthy, they can beat any team in the league, and we've seen that this season despite not being healthy. They've beaten some great teams. They've gone down to the wire with some greater teams. So I think that this team has what it takes to compete. Now, who knows if that translates to playoff success? It depends on the matchups that come down the line. It depends on some luck that has to happen during the postseason. But I truly believe that this team can compete, and they've shown it throughout the season that they can compete with the best teams in the league. Very rarely have they had a complete dud against one of the best teams in the league. They've gone down to the wire or beaten those teams. So I expect it again tonight. Amanda, we talked about this briefly before we went live. I'm actually doing a bold prediction tonight. I think the Celtics win this game. I think that the injuries that have happened, I think we're going to talk about in a moment, but with Paul George being out, with Patrick Beverley being out, it kind of equals Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart being out. And I think Kemba Walker is the guy who's the top secondary scorer who's going to play in this game. So I think Boston wins.
Right. Well, how do the Celtics capitalize and kind of take advantage in this matchup, like you were just saying?
Well, you've got to shut down the rest of it. I mean, Kawhi Leonard, listen, he's one of the best players in the league, if not the best player in the league. And I think he's flying under the radar a little bit this season because he's not averaging 35 points per game, but he has the number 3 player efficiency rating in the entire league right now. He's having 26 points a game, 5 assists, 5 rebounds per game on a 50-40-90 shooting split. So he's having an unbelievable season. He's going to play well tonight, right? Like, he knows he has to be that guy tonight. He didn't have to do that every other night when Paul George has been out there. He has to be the alpha dog tonight. So he can get his. The Celtics can't allow the other guys on the team to get theirs. You can't allow Lou Williams to go off, Marcus Morris to go off. You just can't allow those secondary players to score in a high quantity tonight. You've got to contain them. And I think if that happens, the Celtics, as I said, they're going to win this game. Now, who knows if it's going to happen, but I'm predicting that it will.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to a great matchup. Mark, thanks so much for your time. And thank you all for tuning in. Also, just a quick reminder that we want to send the Celtics to All-Star 2021. So make sure that you're casting your vote by visiting Celtics.com/vote. You can also vote on NBA.com or through the NBA app. You can also go to Twitter and cast your vote by hashtagging the full player's name. You can tag their Twitter handle or spell out their full name and use the hashtag NBA All-Star. So we want to send our guys there, so make sure that you guys are active.